Hello Internet! Hi! The short film you just watched, which I call Singapore Dreaming, was made entirely by me. I dreamt up those shots. I went out and took them over the course of a few nights with a good friend, Colin. I put it all together, color graded it. The only thing that's not mine is the soundtrack, which is from Epidemic Sound. I really hope you enjoyed it, and it was entirely color graded with Dehancer. The point of this video is to do a review of Dehancer, but making that short film was also very much an artistic thing for me. I've always wanted to do a cinematic short film in my own backyard, which is Singapore, and to prove that it can look as good as the footage I've seen from other countries like Tokyo, for example. A bit about me before we jump into the review proper. I am a music producer. My name is Joshua. I mainly produce lo-fi and play guitar. I have gotten really into photography from Fujifilm for the past few years, and I mainly use my X-T4. Videography was something that really happened along the way, and I've been inspired by many creators to get into it. I got frustrated with whatever I knew and did my own research and got into color grading. So now I mainly shoot in F-Log 4K30 or 4K24 depending on the situation. I exclusively post-process in DaVinci Resolve and edit in there. I had my own workflow using power grades for color grading. I put stuff on my YouTube channel. I think that's where Dehancer liked some of my stuff. Shout out to them, thank you guys. They offered to, full disclosure, to let me review their product, and in return for this review I do get a license from them, so I thought that was fair. I hope to give a fair and balanced opinion about this Dehancer plugin from the perspective of someone like me, basically an amateur colorist, and I hope somebody who's watching will value that perspective as opposed to other reviews I've seen whom are from basically industry professionals. Keeping that in mind, I thought I'd structure it in a way of what kind of questions I would ask from my perspective as somebody in this position. So question 1, what's the experience like using Dehancer for somebody who is not a professional, somebody who is not an extremely experienced colorist or color grading professional? Overall, it was fairly smooth. It took me about an hour to figure things out. I read through some of the documentation that came with the plugin. I looked at their website, all easily accessible, Dehancer's website of course, and they have some really good video tutorials that are easy to follow along that got me up and running. Practically speaking, what happens when you first load in the plugin is you have to activate the license, which honestly is easy, and the way you load in the plugin is basically as loading a plugin into any node in DaVinci Resolve, which I'm sure all DaVinci users are familiar with that. I chose to apply it as a plugin effect on an adjustment layer over all my footage, although you can apply it to each clip individually. And I must say, after doing all that, I was up and running really quite fast. Question 2, what can you actually do and what are the capabilities of the plugin once you've got it loaded? I would summarize it in this sort of simple way, and if you are an industry professional, please forgive me. You can emulate the effects of film in a really comprehensive way, and you have the options of choosing between many different types of film. That's basically what the Dehancer plugin does. The workflow is quite simple. You choose the color space that you want to work in, and there's an option for you to choose that at the top of the plugin when you first load it in, or you can choose the type of log footage that you captured the footage in. Subsequently, you choose your film look and the different types of film effects that you want, such as halation, overscan, gate weave, film breathing, film damage. It's really quite extensive. I did play around with every single one of these options, and they do seem like really nice effects and definitely part of the vibe of film, and they all seem really effective. I was able to get several different looks with F-Log footage that I took the short film in. Ultimately, I decided to go with one look, which was Cinesteel 800T. I really liked the halation look on that film stock. But I was able to get many different kinds of nice looks, and I think that speaks to the power of the plugin. So in terms of capabilities, 5 out of 5. Question 3. Am I satisfied with the film look that I managed to get with the Dehancer plugin? And how does that compare with my previous workflow, which was using power grades? Short answer is I'm really quite satisfied with the look. I feel that the look is cleaner than the power grade I was using or the power grades. I can get that really nice vintage film look and various kinds of film effects with that kind of compressed exposure, nice subdued, less contrast film look without loss of clarity, which I was noticing with the power grade. I'm not sure whether that's me drinking the Kool-Aid, but it really seemed quite apparent to me. I was previously compensating for that by pushing up some of the mid detail in DaVinci, but sometimes when you push that too much, the footage starts to break and it looks really quite artificial. The Dehancer plugin made me feel that the film look was really quite satisfactory without sacrificing the look of the footage. So I was really quite happy with that. Question 4. How's the value proposition? Dehancer Pro for a lifetime subscription is honestly quite expensive for somebody who is an amateur. I think if you are a professional, honestly, it probably isn't that expensive. I mean, you could probably earn that back. For an amateur, it is quite something to ask for. That being said, the suite of capabilities is definitely more powerful than the power grades I was using. There are cheaper options. Power grades are actually much cheaper. And in fact, they do have an option for Dehancer Lite, which you could consider as well if you're just starting to get into color grading and you don't want to drop so much money at the start. Overall, I would say that Dehancer does have a good value proposition, but Dehancer Pro honestly would require quite a bit of money. Probably you wouldn't want to get straight into that. I would say that if you don't think that this is something you're going to do long term, then perhaps you might want to get Dehancer Lite first. Dehancer Pro seems to be a good investment if this is something you want to get in for the long term and it's something you want to keep exploring over the years, because it's a really powerful plugin. Okay guys, so that's all the main part of the review. Thanks for sticking around. If you use the affiliate link, I do get a commission and you get 10% off. Just full disclosure. Thanks very much for watching this, and I really hope that it was helpful. And more importantly for me, I hope this helps you on your creative journey, because being creative has helped me through many tough times in my life, and I hope it does for you as well. The last thing I wanted to say, I forgot. Hold on. Well, I'm sure it will come back to me at some point. Cool. Yeah. See you.